I finally played Helldivers 2, and I got one thing to say to 343 Industries. What the hell, guys, right? Recently we learned X343 devs pitched an ODST game that was almost exactly like Helldivers years ago. Now, we already know this, so what is new, right? Well, we learned about why this did not happen, and honestly, when I played this game, it made me think about all the potential, right? And I usually don't talk about other games very much in detail, especially like make videos about them on this channel. It is Halo follower, but this game honestly felt like Halo, Destiny, and Starship Troopers all had a baby and it popped out this, right? From the gameplay mechanics, from like just the general gameplay, I feel like this could fit into the Halo universe very well if you just swapped out the autonomons with like Covenant, right? Or the bugs with more Covenant or drones or something like that, right? And you swapped out the Helldivers with ODSTs, right? Helldivers, Helldroppers, very similar concept to what could potentially work in Halo. Now, by no means am I saying that Helldivers copied Halo. I'm usually not drawn to extraction shooters, but this one is different, and I highly recommend it. Kevin Smith actually said this, and he was the one that actually confirmed this story, which actually has about 2 million views now, where everyone's kind of finding this out together, right? And so he says, been in game dev for almost 30 years, probably pitched well over 100 games. There are thousands of reasons they don't get made. It's rarely corpo greed or some other nefarious reason. I find it's a lot about timing. I thought at first he was talking about how there's only 24 hours in the day, you only have so many employees to do so much work, so you can't make all of these games, right? Like a Halo ODST Helldivers like experience. Well, he said timing, so I actually more so think that it's about getting there at the right time, right? Because 343 Industries was, it was founded by Bonnie Ross because she was kind of in the right place at the right time, for example. And so things like that, like you gotta know the right person right during a specific window. Now, this might be my naive armchair game development point of view here, but a part of making games is being able to make the decisions at the right time, seeing a golden goose when one presents itself. I mean, many game developers, such as like Helldivers here, have decided to make really good calls because they have good foresight and they have inspiration and love for the series that they have developed. And so Bungie knew the right calls. They knew to make Halo 3 ODST and Halo Reach, and sure, those were divisive, but a part of game development is being able to make the right calls. And it feels like 343's made a lot of bad calls at worst times possible. So what went wrong here? Well, there is a lot of reports of basically the lower level employees, the people doing pretty much like the main labor of the game in its development, like texturing and modeling and game design and stuff like that. Those people were actually, in a lot of situations, have come out and said that they were abused, that the culture is very toxic at 343, or at least was. And that's why I get sad when people say fire 343, because it's really not most of 343. I know a lot of people that have gone into 343 and they love Halo with an absolute passion, just like me and you and any other Halo fan. It's just that usually these people don't have any power, the power to make games like Helldivers a reality. And don't get me started about this AAA game business, because Skull and Bones recently came out and Ubisoft was advertising it. I think one of their executives were like, it's a quadruple A+ game. But like, honestly, if anything, the more A is, the more ass it is, because every AAA game to come out, just because it's a AAA developer, usually comes out broken, riddled with microtransactions, and honestly just ditches development pretty soon after because the game isn't performing super well. Yeah, because it wasn't even complete. Whereas you have games like Helldivers made by like indie studios that are pretty much AAA games. Like, they're content complete, they're really fun, they work for the most part, issues are taken care of very quickly. I feel like often the majority of Halo fans and their concerns and voices and desires fall on deaf ears at large. You've heard it here, you've heard it over there, but what the heck happened to Halo? Like, honestly, there's so much evolution and great things happening in the gaming space with everything else. Like, little games like Helldivers are becoming viral and bigger than Halo. Like, I mean, it just feels like Halo is missing the mark in every single possible way, and it boggles my brain why the Flood hasn't come back. There's no good side Halo games to really look forward to. The population is down. Some people have said that Helldivers 2 is a Halo killer, but that's because its population was super high and the game is super high quality. But come on, I've seen dozens of quote Halo killers, and honestly, Halo's biggest enemy is itself. Halo's biggest enemy is continuously developing it on one developer, 343, that has continued to make bad decisions time after time. And this is why I have said for years now, please lend out the IP to other developers. This would really give 343 and other companies a chance to kind of breathe, take their time, instead of rush out things. For example, like the Xbox Series X, which was very likely the reason why the game collapsed in the first place, was because it was rushed. And conflicting opinions, conflicting teams, they just need a good leadership, and they need to know how to do something very simple that they are existing there for, which is to make a functional Halo game, right? Now, Kevin Smith seems to have shared a concept or a pitch for a video game, which is this little binder with an overview, you know, game flow, the story, cutscenes, just kind of like a concept broken down in a summary, right? And I wonder if he did this for the Halo games, and honestly, I would really love to see this. Maybe that would be breaking an NDA or something, but he did say there was galaxy spanning, some more intimate, and one was really dark. And of course, there has been the Flood, which has been neglected for a very long time. That could basically be the bugs in Helldivers if ODST was to have like a Helldivers like 2 experience. Yes, I would love for there to be an ODST Helldivers game. What do you guys think? Let me know down in the comment section below. Have you played Helldivers 2? Are you enjoying it as a Halo fan? And I will see you in the next one soon. Peace.